All right, let's get on with the next one. Outriders developers. It looks like they're having a hard time trying to figure out when they're going to get paid.
So, yeah, similar to the aliens conversation we talked about earlier. So, Outriders was made by People Can Fly.
Yeah.
They're in Poland. And the game was published, like all the money came from Square Enix. So they hired People Can Fly to make this game.
Right.
The way that usually works is they pay them and they say, here's all your development costs, all the money you need for staffing and everything like that. And then they get a percentage of royalties based on the game, depending on how much it sells.
Right.
Apparently, they have yet to see a single payment from Square Enix outside of those upfront dev costs, which according to People Can Fly, is there's really two main situations going on here. Square Enix is hiding their sales numbers for some reason, which we don't know why they would do that, or the game is not performing. The game is not selling well enough for them to actually receive a payment.
What's the more likely scenario, though, Clay?
Well, I don't know what the sales numbers for Outriders are, so because they haven't been published.
But you clearly bought it, and then a couple of your friends bought it too, right?
Yeah, I bought it.
I mean, I'm not saying that that's.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's like a bar be like, well, we bought it, so it must be doing good. It's like, no, but there's clearly enough people who actually got it. It's not like vaporware where they were just like, oh, it got released and then nobody bought it, and they're making it look like it's some big thing.
When I was playing it, which I haven't touched it in like 2 months, but like when I was playing it, there was a lot of people online playing it, and if you remember, the game was really broken for like the first month and a half it came out.
Yeah.
There was enough people bitching online about that to show that a lot of people had bought it.
Right.
Like there was a lot of anger and a lot of people yelling about that, which says they bought it and they're not happy. So I would assume it sold well enough to, make it profitable. But I will say this is not a good sign. And unless Square Enix does make a statement about, it hasn't made a profit yet, we're probably not, granted this is going to be 5-6 years out or something like that. We're probably not looking at like an Outriders 2 or anything like that. Yeah.
I think the game did well. Yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with not selling as much. I think it has to do with either A, they're not able to grab the numbers right now, and that's why nothing has been released.
I can see that. Yeah, it is. I will say I do like the game. I think it gameplay wise, it plays very well. It's just, it's Gears of War meets Destiny, and I get that. I get what they were going for. I like it. I have fun whenever I play with my friends on it. It's just, we finished the campaign, like we technically beat it, and the end game right now is just
a lot of just repeating.
It's just rinse, repeat, just to level up your loot, and it's like, okay.
But then that's like that's what I was gonna say. Like the end game usually is the bread and butter of the game, though, because if you look at Destiny 1 and 2, like their end game stuff is usually what keep people playing because they know the next release is going to be dependent on either their armor or their skills that they've collected the entire time, or even their currency, right? Because they know that a currency is going to be highly sought after, that it's going to carry over to the next season. But the problem with this is like at the very end game, and Cranky Pants knows, like we were playing this game, but then it just became repetitive. It was just same missions. We got different weapon drops, and the one thing that people were complaining about was the weapon drops were too little for so much time invested in the game, that it just kind of drew players away until they updated it, and even by that time it was just far too late. I don't know. Cranky Pants might have a different opinion, but I enjoyed the game. I thought the story was a little meh. Like I really didn't care, right? Because a lot of it was just like, hey, baddie here, go kill baddie, baddie there, go kill baddie.
Big thing.
Yeah.
Kill it.
Yeah.
Cranky Pants, like she says, the gameplay is good, it's just not enough content. I agree. Once you're in the end game, you go on what are called expeditions, and it's like you just run the same like 10 maps over and over again, and each one takes like, depending on what difficulty level you're on, 5 to 10 minutes each.
Yeah, and I don't
It's like Monster Hunter in a way.
Yeah, so like you go in, you kill a bunch of things for 5 minutes, you get showered with loot, you get back out, you jump into a different map, rinse, repeat over and over and over again. And it's like, there's just no motivation for me to want to keep playing right now.
But I will say, I did tell Cranky Pants, like, man, I'm gonna wait for like DLC to come out. Maybe it's gonna be good. Maybe it'll just be the way of Destiny 1, where their DLC in the very beginning of Destiny 1 was just kind of like, okay, we get a vault of glass that we got to go through, and it's one of the raids. And then after that, it was just like, well, what do we do now? You know what I mean? And then
vault of glass.
Yeah, it was just, okay, well, when do we wait? And then DLC came out, and it started making sense. Metas Lizinska says Endgame shouldn't be a thing.
I mean, if Endgame wasn't a thing, that game would be, it's like you would beat it way too fast, and or like nobody would play World of Warcraft because they would hit level 60, or back then, I'll say, like they would hit level 60 and then go, I beat the game.
That's it.
On to the next MMO.
Well,
it's like, that's like, I get why Endgame is there. I just think Outriders didn't put enough thought into it yet.
Yeah.
But speaking of mediocre looter shooters, BK says Black Panther is here, Wakanda forever. Because, the Wakanda expansion for Avengers just got released. And speaking of games that are not performing up to what Square Enix wants, there's another one right there.
Is that a Square Enix game?
Square Enix published
it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it is not selling.
It's not doing that great? Oh, no.
Thank you for the follow. Lunar was here.
Hey, thanks for the follow. We appreciate it. But I didn't know that wasn't going to be doing so well, though.
Put it on the Game Pass. BK says, actually, Avengers is on PlayStation now, which is one of those things where it was like, I remember there was an article. This is like 2 months ago or something like that. There was some big game that just got put on Game Pass, and it was like, Game Pass just got this. PlayStation Now gets ... Avengers. And I was like,
oh no.
I thought that was funny as hell. But yeah, it's Avengers is the same. It's like it's another looter shooter, and you would think that would be a slam dunk of a game. Like Marvel is,
okay, hold on.
Marvel is so hot right now, right?
Why? Why do you think Black Panther? Is it Black Panther that would sell it, or just the fact that it's Marvel?
The having the Avengers as a game should be a slam dunk. But then they turned it into a live service looter shooter, and it's like at that point people were already like, and then it's and then the game came out, and similar to most things, it has a really crappy end game, and people just